I have a question for you, dear viewer. If you could go back in time and change one thing, would you? For many of us, that question is almost comical. The answer is an overwhelming yes. However, the potential risks involved with a question like that are no laughing matter. Whether it's the butterfly effect, where one seemingly harmless change eventually leads to a new unforeseen catastrophe, or the very inevitability of fate itself having endless options to ensure its plan comes to fruition, despite our involvement. Well, in this story, we get the chance to examine these temporal ideas as they unfold before our very eyes. Welcome back, Cryptivists. Today, we're looking at an early piece of internet found footage that went viral all the way across the pond. Much like many of the other topics I've covered, this one has one of my favorite endings in recent memories. But before we can talk about that, I think it's important that we experience the original story together. As soon as we click the video, we're met with color bars, a test pattern traditionally used in television broadcasting for calibration. This is then followed by the MI5 logo, the UK's domestic security service. For my fellow Americans, think roughly along the lines of the FBI when it comes to national security threats. We're informed that on December 15th, 2008, 4 boys from Stevenage, Hertfordshire were reported missing. Their bodies were eventually recovered roughly 10 miles outside of the town, inside the very car they had been driving. There is also a message about an unspecified residence that had thought to have been abandoned had recently shown signs of inhabitants. The final message tells us that the camcorder footage recovered from the car was publicly released as an effort to help with the investigation. And with that, we get our first look at what happened that night.
Okay, I don't know why the f we're doing this. Me and Ollie have got work at 8 in the morning, but we're driving about in his car because we're absolute twats.
Does that light make a difference?
Have you seen that on What the Week? Famous last words. Stingrays love foreplay.
Oh, they should say something.
Okay, I'm just going to stick this down here because I can't be fucked to keep moving it. Hang on, I'll see if I can.
It doesn't actually take many, except I can't move still. Just wait till we're look at the car, pull it to the left.
Oh, this is a dead end. Oh no! Oh, my coat spilled everywhere. Oh, my lap. Oh, it's cold.
Oh, that's very skeleton.
Brimhall Farm was in the news. I don't know what it was. I can't remember.
Have you ever seen this? It gives me the shit so badly.
I don't think we should be here. It's like a private road or something.
Okay, so I better clutch down and roll backwards. It's nearly half full. We need to get.
After some playful banter, the group finds themselves at an archway spanning across the pavement. Despite the sign declaring no through road, implying there's no outlet, they decide to drive through it anyways. It doesn't take them long to realize their mistake. They put the car in reverse, back out, and return to the main road.
That is no... I don't even know where that is. That's nowhere near us.
This is ridiculous. I've never even heard either of those places.
Someone tell me a joke to cheer me up.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
I don't know. I'm really lost. We are actually now lost.
We pulled over because we don't know where we are, and we've been driving down this road for about a fucking hour now.
James's GPS on his phone stopped working.
Does it even say what time it is? My phone's just...
I'm scared because there are no lights in any direction.
Thank you.
Anyway.
That was so advertisement, like...
Shut up.
Ollie, plans. What do we do?
I don't know. I'm scared because it's down to me because I'm driving the car.
Also, holding the camera to your face makes you extremely uncomfortable. I get to film Ollie.
After driving for what feels like hours, they eventually come across something in the road. What they find appears to be a dead rabbit. While this discovery is unpleasant, it's not exactly supernatural. Then the footage begins to distort. Nothing we haven't seen before, but the timing couldn't have been worse. With the camera now resting on the dashboard, it captures one of the boys staring at something off to the side of the road. Seemingly startled by whatever he sees, he jumps back into the car and quickly drives away.
What the fuck is the matter? What are you doing? What's up? Stop joking. Stop being a brick, man. This isn't funny. Oh, there was someone, and he was like wearing some sort of mask. Really want to get home now.
Another car for like an hour. It's scary how it's kind of my responsibility to get us home as well.
Jesus.
Every corner feels like the same.
It's so familiar, isn't it?
There's no way to know.
Have you not got a signal? No, it's a sign. It's a sign. Okay, slow down.
Pennants? What is it? Bennington again. Oh. What?
Nah, if it was.
No.
Oh my god.
And there's.
Wait, stop. No.
Yeah. No, we just got in a little circle, so. We didn't. No, Bennington's in the middle. That's what it is. Bennington is to the.
We've been going in a straight line.
No, we haven't. It's been left, I swear. Absolutely swear. We didn't take any turns. No, it doesn't matter. The road is curved. Relax, man.
In their earlier panic, they have seemed to take a wrong turn, and they find themselves back at the sign reading Bennington. After some confusion, they decide to continue down the road, this time without stopping along the way.
Building.
Jesus.
It's like a prison. It's a plan.
I think the only thing we can do is keep driving until in a straight line and not take any corners until we end up somewhere.
Must have been going for about 2.5 hours now, maybe 3. And I had no idea what time it is. And it's winter, so the sun doesn't come up till like 8.
Don't go to the Wicker Man town.
Can you stop talking about the Wicker Man? We're in the middle of the country. There's gonna be pagans running after us. Wait. What sign is this?
No, stop.
Fuck, stop.
Not right in the middle.
Oh my god.
Oh, you're a bunch of twats. You're fucking driving that on that bit.
No.
Steve, I fell asleep. You've just driven past it again.
Despite continuing straight ahead, they once again find themselves staring at the same sign. Bennington. At this point, a wrong turn is becoming increasingly difficult to blame. After collecting themselves, they decide to test their luck on another road.
You put the radio on.
Yeah, but might as well. Hang on a sec, buddy. I can't do this either.
What is this?
Oh, it's like the scariest thing ever.
What station was that?
Pirate FM.
I don't know, it's never been
It was Pirate, that was some.
Does it like worry you guys that we haven't seen another car for about 2, maybe 3 hours now? I see lights. I see a roundabout.
Their gambit seemingly pays off, as they finally find themselves somewhere unfamiliar. Maybe Bennington was just some sort of large roundabout, and they had simply worked themselves up for nothing. Eventually, the boys reach a sign reading, "Welcome to Stevenage." Excited to finally be home, they return to their playful banter.
Because I've got fucking leather hands.
Stevenage.
Welcome to Stevenage.
Wow.
Hey guys.
Stevenage.
Hey guys.
Lost.
Turn the lights on.
What the fuck?
How did we get here? We were just on the phone.
Just reverse, Ollie. Reverse, go on.
What do we do?
Just don't sit here, I don't want to sit. Oh, for fuck's sake.
James?
Point the camera at me.
James, just give me the...
What are you doing? Turn it back on.
It's not me. I can't.
Turn the bloody lights on. What the fuck? What? No! Turn! What are you doing?
Oh shit! Oh, no. No, please! No! Please! Please! Please don't! No! 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 Dog. Handle it. What? Beans. Cool.
Well, so much for my roundabout theory. We return to the channel for the second installment of the series. Once again, we're greeted by text, but this time it's proclaiming that the footage we're about to see was obtained without consent. Then it's followed by those familiar color bars. Eventually, the dashboard of a car we don't recognize comes into focus. We get our first glimpse of the driver through the rearview mirror. Shortly after, the driver pulls over and hops out, carrying a bouquet of flowers.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay now. And when you look at the video, you see me get dragged out first, before Stephen. I don't know how I got out there.
Don't remember anything.
Last thing I remember is flagging down that car and then being in hospital.
You've never spoken to me about this before.
Anyone? After I got questioned at the police station. I didn't speak to anybody, not even my parents.
After paying their respects to the previous victims, the boys eventually get back into the car and begin to drive home. We learn that James is actually the sole survivor of the events in NTR1. After driving for some time, they decide to take a break and stretch their legs. Once back on the road, they eventually drive past a familiar landmark.
I know it's frustrating, but we're lost now. We'll find our way.
Haven't you noticed where we are?
James, what are you doing?
Understandably, James is upset about the current situation. Luckily, his companion reassures him and they continue their drive. Eventually, they begin to get frustrated. Feeling like they're going nowhere, they decide to try their phones. However, it isn't long before they find themselves facing an impossible encounter.
You got any internet?
I ain't got nothing. No Wi-Fi, no 3G. It's dead out here.
Get back in the car. Yeah, the email's connecting sometimes on my phone, but it's not very consistent.
No? Yeah, okay. Well, next time it does connect, why don't you send an email to your dad or something? He could give us a lift.
We could try turning it off and on again.
That could work.
Oh, cameras. So, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have come, but I felt like I owed it to them.
Reckon it's a good thing you came back.
I just had to pay my respects.
Do you think it was worth it?
No.
It seems that James wasn't the only survivor of that terrible night. Stephen is alive. However, one thing doesn't quite add up. According to James, this is the 3rd anniversary of this event, meaning 3 years have passed. With Stephen's face bloodied and this panicked state, maybe he had been held captive all this time by those masked figures. Only time will tell. The shortest installment in the series greets us much like the others. We are told that this tape is recovered damaged, and as a result, much of the footage suffers from visual tearing and audio distortion.
Oh, my phone's ringing.
Finally.
Hello?
Who was it?
I don't know, it was just a withheld number.
What did they say?
Didn't say anything.
Seemingly picking up just after the events of NTR 2, they're now continuing down the road with Steven in the back seat. They eventually decide to turn right, taking the road they had originally planned to use in the previous video. Sadly, this doesn't seem to work. However, this time around, there's something new waiting for them.
Oh no! There's nothing we can do! Nothing works. Oh, Jesus Christ!
What do we do?
Drive. Drive.
Go, 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 go! Go!
As the tape begins, we're reminded that the remaining footage recovered is from the damaged tape.
You got a bit of blood on you.
It's alright, I don't think it's my blood. I don't know where it came from.
You just walk back through the tunnel. Well, if you walk down the road, eventually we're gonna end up.
If you're not worked out by now, that's not gonna help.
After failing to get their car started, the boys seemingly come across a shack in the distance. Once inside, they're met with trails of wax from dripping candles, along with cryptic writing covering the walls. They even find masks resembling the ones worn by the unknown assailant. Despite these discoveries, it seems more questions have been raised than answered, so they eventually make their way back to the car. However, before they can settle back in, they notice something near the archway.
We have to move or else.
Shh, someone's coming.
Guys, what is that? What is that? Who is it?
I don't know.
What is it? James!
After witnessing the final acts of NTR 1 begin to play out in front of them, the group is seemingly stunned. Eventually, Steven, who for the sake of continuity I'll be calling Steven 1 moving forward, comes up with an idea. Maybe he can stop the murder of Steven 2. With this in mind, Steven 1 sets out to enact his own plan, wearing one of the masks he took from the shack, hoping not to startle Steven 2. Because seeing an exact replica of yourself might not go over well.
You can't see me. Oh, you can't see me. I think I'm okay. I've got to get used to the car. I've got to get used to the car and get you out of here. Wait! No!
Steven? Steven? Steven!
Well, with that, I think we have some questions. Over the course of these 4 tapes, we've watched roads lead back into themselves, people disappear for years, and events seemingly repeat before our very eyes. But there are a few details I've intentionally avoided discussing. Things that didn't make sense at the time when we first encountered them, but make a lot more sense now. So, now that we have experienced the story, let's go back to the very beginning. Earlier, in NTR2, there was a conversation happening in the car, and I cheekily talked over it. This time, let's have a listen.
First episode of the new series, and it was really clever because there's the Doctor, obviously, and there's another woman who also time travels, and because they're meeting each other in different time zones all the time. Makes sense.
That's tight.
Each time they meet each other, they're meeting a slightly different version of the
Went back in time to when you got up. Would you see yourself in bed, or would you be waking up again?
Well, if you know you've done something, if you know, I walked down that street at that time on that day, and you specifically go back in time to see yourself then you will, yeah.
Unless going time and then you are living yourself.
You see that? Yeah, there's a rabbit.
There's a tiny little web.
With that conversation in mind, I think we finally have somewhere to start. Because what initially looked like a road trapping people in some sort of endless loop might actually be something much stranger. Let's start with Steven. When Steven suddenly appeared at the end of NTR2, I suggested that maybe he had been held captive by the mass figures for 3 years, and that's why he was missing. And at the time, that seemed like a reasonable explanation. But after seeing NTR4, I don't think that's what happened at all. Remember when Steven reappears, he doesn't look like someone who spent the last 3 years in captivity. He looks exactly like we'd expect him to look if the events of NTR1 had just happened. From Steven's perspective, maybe they had. If that was the case, then whatever is happening on this road isn't simply sending people in circles. It's moving them through time. And if we're working with that assumption, then maybe we can identify where those shifts are actually happening. We already have one pretty obvious candidate: the Archway. It's a massive landmark, and the road passes directly through it, and we've somehow found ourselves returning to it again and again. But if the Archway is one point of this temporal anomaly, where's the other? And this small detail kept racking my brain over and over. The only other landmark that is repeatable is the Bennington signpost, but other than being a plot point to express being stuck, nothing really stood out about it. However, that's when I started wondering if I was asking the wrong question. What if there isn't a point B? What if point A and point B are the same place? The Archway doesn't necessarily take them somewhere else, it brings them back, creating a closed loop. We actually see evidence of this throughout the story. In NTR1, the boys try to leave the road and head back towards the city, only to find themselves abruptly placed back in front of the Archway. The same basic phenomenon seems to happen with Bennington Road. Despite driving for what feels like ages, they repeatedly find themselves passing the exact same sign. So, while the Archway may be the most obvious point where this happens, the road itself seems to behave in a similar way. No matter which direction they travel, they always seem to end up somewhere they've already been. But this isn't unique to the landscape. time seemingly does the same thing. And as a famous doctor once told me, we've officially entered the realm of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. Because Steven isn't simply being moved through time, he's interacting with it. And this is where Steven 1 and Steven 2 become important. Remember, Steven 2 is the version we originally followed in NTR 1. He gets out of the car near the archway only to encounter a masked figure who eventually attacks him. At the same time, we have absolutely no idea who that person is. But 3 years later, or at least 3 years from the perspective of James, Steven reappears. This is the person we've been calling Steven 1. Eventually, Steven 1 finds himself back at the archway, watching the events of NTR 1 happen all over again. Only this time, he knows what's going to happen. He knows Steven 2 is about to be attacked, and more importantly, he thinks he can stop it. So, Steven 1 grabs the mask from the shack and approaches his past self, which brings us back to the question I asked from the very beginning of this video. If you could go back in time and change one thing, would you? Steven's answer is clearly yes, but there's a problem. By attempting to save Steven 2, Steven 1 becomes the masked figure Steven 2 encountered in the first place. Think about that for a second. Steven remembers being approached by someone in a mask. Years later, he travels back and puts that same mask on so he can approach himself without being recognized. His memory of the event influences his decisions, which help create the event he remembers. So, where does it begin? Was there once an original version where Steven 1 wasn't there? Or was there once another masked attacker? Or has Steven always been standing on both sides of this encounter? That's where we get into something known as the casual loop. To put it simply, a casual loop occurs when an event in the future becomes one of the causes of an event in the past. Then that past event helps create the future event that caused it. Basically, cause becomes effect, and the effect becomes the cause. And there doesn't necessarily have to be a first version. The event can simply exist inside the loop, earning its casual name. And this is where I think No Through a Road becomes much more interesting than a story about a haunted road. Because the road isn't the only thing trapping these characters. Causality itself is. Look at it this way. Steven is given knowledge of what happens to him. He's given the opportunity to go back. He's even given the chance to interfere. But every decision he makes to escape that outcome only moves him closer to creating it. The road does the exact same thing. Drive forward and eventually you're somewhere you've already been. Turn around and eventually you're somewhere where you've already been. Try another road and eventually you're somewhere where you've already been. Steven's fate follows the same rules. He can run, he can interfere, he can even try to save himself. But every path eventually leads him back to the same place, which makes the title No Through Road feel almost painfully appropriate. There isn't another side, not geographically, and perhaps not temporally either. Every road leads back to where it begins. However, there is still another masked figure we haven't accounted for. While Steven 1 explains the masked person who confronts Steven 2, he doesn't explain the attacker who kills the cameraman. And I have a theory about who that might be. I think it's good old cameraman himself, Dave. Unlike Steven, Dave has been present for nearly everything we've witnessed since NTR 2. As the cameraman, he watches the events unfold behind the lens. Steven has only seen one piece of this loop. Dave has been watching almost all of it. He watches Steven's attempt to change the events fail. So Dave eventually finds himself with the same opportunity. He already knows that trying to save everyone doesn't work. Maybe that's why he tries something different. Instead of trying to save the people trapped inside the loop, what if he decides the only way to stop it is to make sure nobody's left to continue it? That could explain the second masked attacker. And there's one other little detail that spawned this idea. Inside the shack, we see 5 masks resting on a shrine. If we assume that each mask represents a victim, that still leaves us with 1 mask unaccounted for. So could that 5th mask eventually belong to Dave? The series never outright identifies Dave as the second attacker, but if I'm right, then Dave falls into the exact same trap as Steven. Steven tries to break the loop by saving himself. Dave tries to break the loop by killing them all, and both of their attempts may be the very events that keep the same loop intact. And if we're already entertaining that possibility, then maybe we can find a little more sense out of the shack, one of the series' biggest mysteries. We know from the opening of NTR1 that the abandoned residence had shown signs of habitation according to the MI5 files. And when we finally see inside, it's covered in melted wax and strange writings and those masks on the shrine. At first glance, I assumed we're looking at some sort of cult. But what if instead of a cult, we're looking at the remains of someone who's been trapped in this loop for far too long? If time doesn't behave normally on this road, we have no way of knowing how long someone like Dave could have experienced it. Maybe the shack is where he eventually ends up, and maybe all the writing is the result of him trying to understand what is happening. Again, we don't really know. But if Dave really is the second attacker, then the shack may not be evidence of some mysterious cult at all. It could be evidence of what the loop eventually does to him. Look, I get it. The story of No Through Road may be complicated, but the story of how it was created is surprisingly simple. The man behind the series is Stephen Chamberlain, and yes, it's the very same Stephen we spent the last several minutes trying to untangle. In late 2008, Chamberlain was around 17 years old. He had recently gotten a camera, and his other friend Ollie had recently gotten access to something equally important when you're 17, a car. So naturally, a group of teenagers started spending their nights driving around the countryside surrounding Stevenage. And on one of those drives, they came across something we've become very familiar with by now: the archway. Unlike everything we've just watched, the archway is completely real. It's a railway underpass near Broomhall Farm. According to Chamberlain, it was already a relatively well-known location to people in the area. Something about it struck the group as creepy, and that's when Steven had the idea. What if we could never escape this place? More specifically, what if they kept passing the same Bennington sign once, twice, even 3 times? So Steven started recording, and remarkably, most of what became of the first No Through Road was improvised. There wasn't some elaborate screenplay. Steven would suggest what should happen, and his friends would react, and they'd just keep filming. In fact, Chamberlain later credited that lack of structure and the fact that his friends weren't actors as part of why the original feels so believable. He described what they captured that night was essentially lightning in a bottle, which explains the feeling I felt immediately after watching the first installment. Their banter feels real. Because a lot of it basically was just a group of actual friends screwing around in a car. The majority of NTR1 was filmed that night, although the ending with the masked figures was shot a few weeks later after Steven decided that they needed a stronger ending for the video. And here's another fun detail. Steven played the masked figure as well. The costume wasn't exactly a Hollywood production. A trench coat from his dad, a cowboy hat from his sister, and a drama mask from his school. Some clever editing allowed Steven to appear both outside and inside the car during the same sequences, and when they finished it, that was supposed to be the end. No Through Road wasn't originally conceived as a 4-part series. NTR1 was meant to stand out entirely on its own. It wasn't until Steven went away to university that he would return home to his friends and have conversations about a sequel. And this time, they actually had to figure out what the hell was happening. Steven, James, and Dave spent evenings throwing around ideas trying to find something complicated enough to be satisfying, without answering every question. Eventually, they landed on the idea that we spent this entire investigation unraveling: the time loop. And according to Chamberlain, when they came up with the idea to reveal that the car appearing in NTR4 was actually themselves from NTR1, they immediately knew they had found their ending. Which brings up a fact I find particularly interesting about No Through Road. The loop wasn't there from the beginning. The original story wasn't secretly written with 4 installments of temporal mechanics. Instead, years later, they found out a way to take unanswered questions left behind from the original, and much like the concept itself, loop it back to the original story. At the beginning of this video, I asked you a question. If you could go back in time and change one thing, would you? And at the time, I said the answer for most of us would be comically obvious. Of course we would. We all have made mistakes we'd like to undo, decisions we wish we'd made differently, moments where we wish we could go back knowing what we know now, and choose another road. Steven was given that opportunity. He knew what was going to happen. He knew where it would happen. And when he was finally given the chance to intervene, he did. But that's what I find so fascinating about No Through Road. Steven isn't punished because he makes some obviously terrible decision. He's trying to save himself. The problem is that every decision he makes to change his fate seemingly becomes another piece of the fate he was trying to change. And maybe that's what makes the road itself such a fitting setting for this story. Throughout the series, the boys are constantly given choices. They can keep driving. They can turn around. They can take another road. But no matter which direction they choose, it always seems to have them arrive to somewhere they've already been. And that's the horror behind No Through Road. Not that these characters have no choices, but that none of their choices seem to be capable of changing the destination. Nearly 17 years later, No Through Road remains an incredible piece of early internet horror. Something created by a group of friends with a camera, a car, and a creepy road. And most importantly, a deep understanding of Stingray foreplay. Sorry, I couldn't leave that out. But what started out as simply a night filming became something people are still discovering all these years later. And I think there's something pretty special about that. So I have to know, if you could go back in time and change one thing, would you? After this one, maybe I'd think about it a little longer. Thank you so much for joining me on this investigation, and if you enjoyed our little trip down No Through Road, consider subscribing and joining the archive. We preserve strange, forgotten, and unsettling corners of the internet, one record at a time. And if you're already one of the cryptivists helping me do that, thank you. We're only getting started. And as always, I wish you a good ending.
You see that on Mock the Week? Famous last words. Stingrays love foreplay.